Okay, so Billy, let's talk about Ryan Howard, how he's really picked it up over the last couple of games. He's hitting 7 of his last 11.
Yep.
He's raised his average to 234, the first time he's actually gotten over that Mendoza line this season. A little rough start into April, but towards the end of the month and so far into the first week of May, he's really picked it up. 3 homers over his last 11. So talk about that. Let's talk about what he's really been seeing differently at the plate.
Yeah, recently Howard's been, at least recently within the past few games or so, Howard's been letting the ball get a lot deeper than he normally does. In the past, he's been flailing out, driving the ball into the ground, into the dirt, and grounding into the shift repeatedly, and now he's letting the ball get deep. And when you do that, we're able to, your hands are at their quickest. So he's throwing that bat head right at it, and he's starting to drive the ball to the opposite way and to center field as well. And that's where you're seeing most of his home runs go, because people are going to throw him away. People aren't going to give him that inside pitch so he can just pull it and put it in the upper deck like he used to. They're going to throw him the other way, so he's got to let it get deep. And he's finally starting to realize that, and now the numbers are starting to show that.
Really had some good at-bats last night against Mets ace Matt Harvey. So yeah, Howard's really, just seeing the ball a lot better. He never really used to drive the ball to the opposite field, in the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
As he did, obviously, in his 2006 MVP run. But what's different about Howard? What in terms of his approach at the plate?
Yeah, I just see him. He's just waiting on it longer. He's just letting the ball come to him, and he's not being over anxious. He's not jumping out to go get it. He's letting the ball come to him, and it's starting to show on the stat sheet.
And last night was Howard's 340th career home run in the 4th inning against Matt Harvey. Only time will tell to see if he can continue this success. And tonight it all starts with facing Jonathan Neese, who's been on a red-hot tear for the Mets. And so we'll find out. It'll be a good pitching matchup tonight. Aaron Harang versus Jonathan Neese here at Citizens Bank Park. And, we're looking forward to it. Okay, Billy, so we got the second game tonight of a 3-game series with the Mets. The Phillies stole the first one, obviously by a great outing by Cole Hamels. Tonight we got Aaron Harang and Jonathan Neese. Both are in the top 10 in National League in ERA this year. Aaron Harang obviously off to a great start with the Phillies. He's got a 2.35 ERA. And Neese not too shabby either at 2.40. But like I said, both in the top 10. So what do you expect tonight from the pitching performance?
I think that it's going to be really similar to last night. It's going to be a pitcher's duel. We're going to see maybe, it all depends on what lineup steps up for the Phils. If it's something like last night where they're able to piece together some key at bats and get manufacture a run or two, then maybe they can pull out another victory. That would be pretty sweet. And
manufacturing runs for the Phillies all starts this year with Freddie Galvis, who has raised his average to a remarkable 351 this year. It's 7th in all of baseball. So let me ask you this. What has he really done differently this year from last year, considering last year it was a work in progress for him at the plate?
Yeah, well, the first thing, I think he just feels more comfortable. It's another year at the major league level, so he's starting to feel comfortable against the pitching. And then on top of that, he really sat down in spring training and he thought that he just needed to settle down more. He needed to stop trying so hard at the plate and really just let the game come to him. And that's what he's been doing. And he's not trying to do too much up there. He's just peppering the ball to left, center, right, wherever the pitch is at the plate. And his average is speaking for itself at this point.
He's been the Phillies' best player this season wherever he was placed in the order. So it's been really good to see Freddie Galvis get off to the great start that he's at, replacing obviously a Phillies legend in Jimmy Rollins at shortstop.
Yeah, it definitely stinks to see Jimmy go. He's having success in LA, but it's great to see Freddie Galvis really step up. And there really hasn't been much of a drop defensively either. Freddie Galvis has played a really good shortstop defensively, so who knows? Maybe this could be the future shortstop for the Phils for years to come.
We will see. Right now, we are wrapping things up. I'm Christian Reilly.
And I'm Billy Reard.
We're here at Citizens Bank Park getting ready for the Phillies at 7:05. Aaron Harang versus Jonathan Neese. Thanks a lot. Welcome to PPL Park here in Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm Christian Reilly.
And I'm Billy Reard.
And we're here to give you a pregame analysis report of the Philadelphia Union versus the DC United soccer game tonight. And Billy, it's easy to say that the Philadelphia Union have been off to a miserable start so far this season.
Yes, very much so. What are they so far? 1-7-3. DC United is off to a much better start. So it's going to be a tough game for the Union.
And the coaches and the players are definitely feeling the pressure. Here's a quote from the Union head coach, Jim Curtin, and he said, It's been a real tough time, obviously. I've never been part of something this difficult. I guess maybe at Villanova when I was playing there, but professionally, this is the first time I've gone through a tough time like this. So the Union are off to a 1-7-3 start with just 6 total points, and they are standing in 9th out of 10th place here in the Eastern Conference. So Billy, let's talk about it. What did the Union have to do differently from this point forward to climb up the standings a little bit, at least in the points total, to make them somewhat respectable?
To be honest, the easy solution is they just have to start winning games. The more they get these 1-pointers or 0-point games, they're going to keep falling in the standings. And the only way to climb back up is to start getting those 3 points for each victory. And tonight's going to be a tough test for them. It's going to be really tough against DC United. They're a lot better ball club, and we'll see what happens.
They sure are. The DC United club is coming off an 8-game unbeaten streak. So they are one of the hottest teams in soccer right now. Obviously a fierce rival to the Union. So what did the Union have to do tonight to frustrate DC United and get them off their game a little bit?
They'll just have to play hard and really attack defensively, I'd say. They have to really pressure the ball and get into the heads of the DC players. That's the only way they can really have a chance in this one. I mean, they're not as talented as the other team, but sometimes you can break a team by pressuring them. And
DC United is obviously coming off of a fresh victory against Orlando City on Wednesday night. The Union, meanwhile, have had 8 days to think about their last loss to the Vancouver Whitecaps. So what's the mindset now with the Union since they've had 8 days to obviously go over some film and figure out what they need to do better?
Yeah, well, hopefully they've been just trying to wipe the slate clean. They've had a long break, over a week, so as long as they've been preparing the way they should be, they should hopefully come out in better standing tonight against the United.
And we will wait and see. The Philadelphia Union will kick off their game tonight against DC United here at 7:05. I'm Christian Reilly.
And I'm Billy Reed.
And we're here at PPL Park. Hello, everyone. We're reporting live from PPL Park here in Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm Christian Reilly.
And I'm Bria Wojciechowski.
And we are getting ready for a huge MLS showdown tonight between the Philadelphia Union and Columbus Crew SC. The Union right now sit at 3-8-3 and sit in 8th place in the Eastern Conference standings, while Columbus Crew SC sits at 4-4-4 and a comfortable 5th place in the Eastern Conference standings. And, right now the Union have won 2 out of their last 3 games and are, playing pretty good soccer recently. And if any, of their recent success is any indication, they should, be feeling pretty good about themselves tonight.
I agree. It should be a really big showdown tonight for the Eastern Conference. The Union really need to step it up on their home turf, and we should see what their defense is going to do tonight.
The Union have lost 4 straight to Columbus Crew SC and are looking to snap that losing streak by getting on track with the win tonight. We're reporting live from PPL Park here in Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm Christian Reilly.
And I'm Bria Wojciechowski.
Enjoy the game, everyone. So we're here post-game here at PPL Park here in Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm Christian Reilly.
I'm Bria Wojciechowski.
And it was a thrilling game tonight. The Philadelphia Union came out with all the intensity that we expected them to have in a 3-0 win over the Columbus Crew SC and a huge victory for the Union. It started slow in the first half, Brienne, but then CJ Sapong got the Union on the board in the 41st minute. What did you see from the Union that they came out differently that they didn't do against DC United on Wednesday night?
I think their offense was just so much more powerful. They kept the ball moving. You could see the confidence displayed all throughout the field. Every player stepped their game up today. And even with Noguera, he took advantage of the slip-up of Steve Clark, Crew's goalie, and it was amazing to actually watch it. And then we have Latu with the 3rd goal of the night, really declaring the power and the force of the Union altogether and really wrapping up the game for us. It was really just a sight to see, and the defense really backed it up.
And Columbus Crew SC really had a great defense coming into this game, and the Union kind of really took it to them early on and really continued that momentum from the first half over into the second half. So a huge, thrilling victory for the Philadelphia Union. They are now 4-8-3 on the season and have bumped their total points up from 12 to 15 with this big victory. And dropping Columbus Crew SC to their 5th loss of the season, they are now 4-5-4. So the Union are slowly making their way up the Eastern Conference and are looking to make a playoff push here as the season winds down. A big win for the Union, like I said. They will play back here at PPL Park on Saturday. And I'm Christian Reilly.
I'm Brianna Wojciechowski.
Thanks for watching, and it was a great victory tonight by the Union over Columbus Crew SC.
Hello everyone, I'm Christian Reilly. We are here outside of the Verizon Center, outside of the Wizards practice facility. We're here to cover the pre-draft workouts. Some notable players here that were today that were working out for the Wizards were Jaren Grant, the shooting guard / point guard out of Notre Dame. Jaren is a 6'5", 202-pound guard, a guy that's really a combination of the 1 and the 2 guard. So he brings that versatility to the table at the next level. DeLon Wright was another combo guard. He can play either point guard or shooting guard position. He is also a 6'5" combo guard. He's a guy that is a tenacious defender, so he is a defensive first type of player. He really brings that defensive tenaciousness, so to speak, to the table. So a couple of the guys that the Wizards are looking at in terms of trying to add to their backcourt depth. Obviously behind John Wall and Bradley Beal, there's really not much. You have Ramon Sessions, who has 1 year left on his 2-year deal since being traded over from the Sacramento Kings last offseason. Ramon has a 1 year, $2.17 million left remaining. You have a guy like Garrett Temple, who's also behind Ramon, and then Will Bynum, who came over from China, that has a player option for next year. So a lot for the Wizards to be looking at here in the pre-draft workouts. With Jaren Grant and DeLon Wright, 2 guys that could really be a key piece to provide that depth in the backcourt for the Wizards. The Wizards are selecting 19th overall this year, so there's a very good chance that both players will be available when they select a 19. The Wizards could also use some front court depth as well, considering they have only one really true center on the roster in Martin Gortat. The other guys such as Kevin Seraphin, Nene, Drew Gooden, those types of guys are really stretch fours. So it would be really crucial for them to be able to provide some bulk and some strength underneath to go along with those guys. I think one guy that stood out today was Stefan Nastic, the 6'11", 245-pound center from Stanford. He was a 5-year college player, a guy that really got better from his first year at Stanford until his 5th year. And in his 5th year, he averaged 14.5 points a game on 47% shooting to go along with 6.5 rebounds and 1 block per game. So the guy can do a little bit of everything, and it would really provide some much needed front court depth for the Wizards if they choose to go that route. Maybe not in the first round, but in the second round, if Nastic is available, it would certainly be a big boost to their front court depth. So those are the guys that really, were headlining today's workout with the Washington Wizards. Here I'm just here giving a little scoop on what's taking place and what the Wizards are looking at in terms of what they're going to do from here and this point forward leading up to the draft on June 25th. So it was good talking about what the Wizards are looking at today. I'm Christian Reilly, and thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, and welcome to PPL Park here in Chester, Pennsylvania for tonight's MLS showdown between the Portland Timbers and the home team Philadelphia Union. The Portland Timbers are 9-6-4 with 31 points on the season, while the Union are 5-10-4 with 19 points on the season. The Portland Timbers are 3rd in the Western Conference standings and sitting comfortably for a playoff picture, while the Union sit in 8th place in the Eastern Conference standings and are on the outside looking in for a playoff spot. The Timbers came out on top in their last match in a 1-0 victory over the San Jose Earthquakes thanks to a game-winning goal by Jack Dewsbury, the midfielder for Portland. The Union, on the other hand, have had 10 days to recharge their batteries since their last match in the U.S. Open Cup against DC United. Coming into this game, the Union and the Timbers are 2 of the hottest teams in the MLS right now, going 6-3-1 and 7-3 over their last 10 games, respectively. Portland has scored 15 goals and conceded 11 goals, while the Union have scored 14 and allowed 12 over their last 10 games as well. So that pretty much explains why they're two of the hottest teams in the MLS right now. Meanwhile, Union coach Jim Curtin wants to see a sense of urgency from his team tonight, as they have had 10 days off to recharge their batteries and think about their last match. He expects them to be fresh and come out really intense tonight in a big game against Portland. In addition, this will be the Union's final home game in the MLS for the month of July, playing their final 2 games for the month at Toronto and at DC. For H4 TV, I'm Christian Reilly. For all the latest Union and other sports news, be sure to check out the Sports Journal at h4-entertainment.com. Hello everyone, I'm Christian Reilly and I'm reporting here live from the NovaCare Complex, which is the location of the Philadelphia Eagles practice facility. Which leads me to bring up 3 important questions that I have for the Eagles' upcoming training camp and throughout much of the preseason. First, how much is Sam Bradford going to be able to handle early on in training camp? The quarterback was traded over from St. Louis Rams earlier this offseason, with many questions speculating about his health. Bradford is coming off his 2nd torn ACL in as many seasons, and the question still remains, is he going to be ready to play 44 days from now in Atlanta on Monday Night Football when the Eagles open their season against the Falcons? Next, what will the offensive line look come September? Well, let's clear a few things up first. We know that Jason Peters is going to be the starting left tackle, Jason Kelsey is going to be the starting center, and Lane Johnson is going to be the starting right tackle. So those are 3 things that we must clear up first. Now, the guards. That's another story. What we do know is that Pro Bowler Evan Mathis was let go earlier this summer, which figures to open the door for Alan Barbary, in which head coach Chip Kelly has raved about his production and his improvement throughout the offseason. So it looks like Alan Barbary, as it pertains to the start of training camp, will be the starting left guard. Right guard, well, that remains to be seen. We'll see if Andrew Gardner, Matt Tobin, or Kevin Graff, or the newly signed John Moffitt can upgrade that position for the 2015 season. The Eagles want to be better up front than they were a season ago. For that to happen, some players with limited NFL experience are going to have to step in and produce and fill the bill right away. And last but not least, is Walter Thurman the answer at safety? At only 5'11" and 190 pounds, Thurman isn't the biggest guy for his position, but he sure can cover. With Thurman's ability to cover well and tackle really well in open space and run from sideline to sideline, make him a very good commodity to start alongside Malcolm Jenkins for the Eagles this season. For H4 TV, I'm Christian Reilly. With all the latest Eagles and other sports news, be sure to check out the Sports Journal at h4-entertainment.com. Thank you.